So it's a big day today. I've been having a lot of those lately, but today's an especially big day because today is the day that I start writing season 6 of Strange Trials. If you don't know who I am, my name is Colton Woods. I'm the creator of Strange Trials, a full cast audio drama in the style of Serial. The first season follows 2 LA natives as they travel to a rural town in West Virginia to investigate folklore about a serial killer there known as the Shadow Man. That season is available for free on any podcast platform if you'd like to listen, and this channel is me working toward making future seasons of the show and also the novelizations of each of the seasons as they go, so that as I'm releasing new seasons, I'll be able to also release a book version in case people want a slightly different experience with the same story. Currently, what we're working on is season 6. I just spent the past few months planning it out, and now I am ready to dive into the actual writing process for it. And I'm a little nervous, and there's 2 reasons for that. One is just the scope of this season is so far beyond any other season that I've done before, any other story in general that I've done before. And I think that it's going to take a lot of brain power to think through all the different pieces of this and keeping them straight and stuff. I have tons and tons of notes and all this stuff on my template of like what needs to happen in each scene. I'm still nervous I'm going to miss something. Like it's likely to happen with the length of the season and the length of each episode and how many subplots there are happening. It's a lot to juggle, and I am nervous about that. It's going to be a lot, but I think at the end of all this, it will hopefully end up being one of my favorite seasons. I can't say for sure, but based on the story, I think this could end up being my favorite season. We'll see how it comes together in the actual writing process. But this is likely to be the rest of my year, is working through writing 15 episodes of season 6. That's crazy behavior on my part. That's a lot of episodes. I don't know why I committed to that, but the story just it really didn't. Ultimately, it probably could have even been more episodes. It's just every episode is so much. There's so much going on, and I've realistically probably could have done a 20 episode season, but 15 is where I'm cutting it off. That is the first reason I'm a little nervous. The second reason is literally the opening scene of this season is so different from any other opening scene that I've done. Like most opening scenes are pretty straightforward, especially in the earlier seasons. It's just like a little bit of narration in the studio from like the main character, but it doesn't work that way in this season. Like we're starting in a totally different setting, and it's a type of setting that I have never personally like experienced. And so I'm probably going to be like going back and forth watching like clips of stuff like this and seeing how that stuff is worded. I'm trying to say stuff without like spoiling any like huge like plot things, but like there's specific stuff that needs to happen in this opening scene that has a specific process to it, I think, based on the research that I've done. And so I need to kind of be able to emulate that in a way that's interesting and engaging and doesn't like drag down the entire episode's pacing, because I don't want to bore people in the first episode. I want like things to be happening. So we kind of have to get to the point pretty quickly. And so I got to figure out a way to do that. So I am nervous about this scene because it's not a standard scene. Luckily is the only scene in this season that's like that. So I sort of feel like I'm starting with one of the hardest parts of the entire season right off the bat. And once I get past that, I should be good. I've got today off, so hopefully I can just spend the whole day kind of chugging my way through that. I don't know if I'll even be able to finish it today. It just makes me nervous thinking about it because I just feel like I'm going to have to go so piece by piece on this and just very, very slowly. It's going to be a slog, I feel like, to get through this scene until I figure out what the rhythm of it is. Yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of like pomp and circumstance to how this is supposed to go, I guess, and I got to figure out how I want to handle all of that or skip it. I don't know. But here we are, beginning the journey through season 6 of Strange Trials, potentially my favorite season. Yeah, I'm going to get to it. Okay, so it's a few hours later. It's 3 p.m. right now. The first scene's done. I feel great about it. I was really, really nervous, and it took a lot of like back and forth. I had to read transcripts of how some of these other things go. There's a very specific order to how things go in this type of scene that I just had to write, and you have to sort of like break it up so that it's not actually going to literally follow how it would literally realistically go, because then like the scene would have to be like 2 hours long, and I don't think that works. It's meant to be like an opening scene to an episode where other things are going to happen. So it's abbreviated a little bit, and it doesn't necessarily follow exactly how it would go in real life, but I hope that people at least get the idea of like the level of like decorum and respect and whatever, so we understand like what the vibe is. And yeah, I think that it came out much better than I thought it was going to. It flowed a lot easier than I thought it was going to. I fully expected to be doing this like literally the entire day, like till like 8 p.m., 9 p.m. or something if I really needed to, just to get to like at least 10 pages. As you saw, I hit page 13, and so like I'm feeling good about it. I genuinely feel like I got one of the hardest scenes of the season out of the way just right off the bat, and that's awesome. We get to kind of reintroduce the characters and meet new characters who we might not necessarily ever see again, but they're fun characters while we're there, while we have them. And yeah, I don't know. I just had a good time writing it, and I wasn't really sure if I was going to, because I really, really did not know how to plan for this. Like, I was able to plan so much of all the other scenes throughout the season, and going into those, I already know kind of what the setup will be. I know what characters will be there, how they talk to each other, how they'll interact, etc., etc. Because usually it's just like they're in a room, they're doing this thing, and it's just a conversation. Whereas this was not just a conversation; it was like a very specific setting that I had to match, and I feel like I did okay with it. I feel like I will go through and reread it and like need to make some small adjustments here and there over the course of actually editing out season 6 when the time comes. But I do feel like I got what I needed out of it, at least for a very first draft like this. It's 3 p.m. It's still so early in the day that like I do feel like I probably could keep writing and just really burn through, like, because this was not the entire like first scene. This was like the opening bit of the first scene, but there were like 2 additional boxes that also needed to get stuff needs to happen, but it's just outside of that specific setting. So I could continue with those boxes, maybe hit page 15 to 18 today. That'd be kind of nice to be like a third of the way through the episode in one day. That would be kind of nice, actually. We'll see. We'll see how I feel. I'm probably going to go work out right now and then eat something, and then who knows what will happen after that. Here I am up at UB. I found a new classroom I have never seen before in my life. It's covered in whiteboards. Would have been so helpful like 3 weeks ago. But anyway, here we are. Got my laptop. I'm going to start writing. I've decided to come up so that I could continue working on this like opening sequence. I think that having the opening scene done is such a weight off my shoulders right now. But I would like to complete the opening sequence. It is kind of like 2 scenes that do like interlock and like just lead right in one into the other. So I think if I can knock both of them out today, it will take care of one of the toughest parts of starting the seasons. Because anytime you start the season, you have all these characters that are coming back. You have to kind of remind the audience of what happened previously, where we left off with things, and you also need to kind of reintroduce the characters that are returning, and remind people of their dynamics and how they're how they view the world and things like that. And it can be a challenge to do that succinctly in like one concise opening scene. Luckily, with the way that the sequence works, is most of those characters were in the actual literal opening scene, and the others will be in this next scene. So there's not that much extra that I need to really, work extra hard to try to get them to make sense and like work them into the scene, especially because in this next piece of the sequence, those characters do kind of take center stage, and they become their own storyline kicks off. So it's going to be, it should be fun. I hope that it doesn't take too long. I'm hoping also that it's not even like a particularly long scene. Like I think that it could probably be done in like 5 to 7 pages. I'm on page 13 right now. So if I could end up around like 18 to 20 pages total at the end of today, that's a great spot to be in. So I'm, we're going to give it a shot. And then I'm going to go walk around UB because the weather's pretty nice. It's kind of cloudy, but it is like 72 degrees exactly. It's so nice. So I definitely do want to be able to walk around before it drops down into the 60s in a little bit. And so that is going to be my motivator for this scene. Oh my God, today has been insanely productive. This is probably the most productive first day of writing a new season that I think I have ever had. Anytime I'm starting a new season, I mean, I've gone over this, but like, it's a lot of reintroductions and like getting back into the flow of things or whatever. I don't know if it's because I just finished writing the specials. I'm already kind of like in the flow a little bit. But this has been the easiest reintroduction I've ever done. This is the best first day I've ever had. I'm literally at the very bottom line of page 25. I wrote 25 pages today, and none of that is like previously on, like none of that is there. Like, so there's nothing that's like filler that's like artificially bumping up the number. It is literally 25 pages I wrote today. That's crazy. And I came here midway through page 13, right? So like I actually wrote basically the same amount here in like literally an hour and a half that I had written earlier today in 3 hours. And even that was really good because of the way that scene was set up, and the fact that I was able to write that as quickly as I did was amazing to me too. This has been so good. And this is like one of those rare, I think this is probably, I don't think this will happen tomorrow. Like I think tomorrow I will, I'll stumble and I'll struggle and I'll be like, oh God, I don't know what else, what comes next. But currently I'm feeling amazing about this. This is awesome. I completely finished the first sequence of scenes, and now I'm in basically the second sequence. 1, 2, 3. And there's like basically 3 more sequences. I'm on page 25. The goal each episode is to have at least 50 pages. I will for sure hit 50 pages because there are like fully 3 more scenes left to write. And that's like, assuming each scene is like at least 8 pages, I'm going to hit 50 pages. And the final scene is the final sequence is multiple scenes. So it's just very likely to be above 50 pages, which is great because I aim for 50 as a minimum, but like going a little bit above, that's actually kind of the goal. I just like hold myself to the bare minimum, and I'm always pleasantly surprised when I go above it. So yeah, it's 8:30 right now. I'm going to go take a walk and just revel in the fact that I wrote that much in one day. That's crazy. 25 pages in one day. Amazing. Oh boy. Monday, June 29th, here we are. Amazing news. Episode 1 of season 6 is complete. Cutting right to the chase. It's 54 pages long, which is actually a little shorter than I was expecting it to be, but also I'm okay with that because 50 pages is the actual goal. Like that's like the real goal. And then it just feels like it has kept expanding over time. So I'm glad that I actually stuck to around the 50 page mark, because if every episode of this 15 episode season was going to end up being like 60 pages, that was going to be killer. So I am okay with having some episodes that are actually just the length that they're supposed to be. But 54 pages long. The episode came out, I can't say how it came out. I didn't read it yet, but it feels like it was pretty good, and it's definitely a weight off my shoulders. I know I already went into this in a previous clip, but like I was really nervous about that opening scene, and I think that I haven't read it back, but I feel like it did what I needed it to do, or it's at least close enough to approximate what I needed it to do, where I can like tweak it it's always easier to edit something than literally nothing. So I feel like I'm in a good spot with that. And I feel like the rest of the episode was kind of went pretty smoothly. Yesterday was kind of a rough day. I have written, again, still like every single day since I started writing. There are going to be some non-writing days coming up because of my work schedule, but yesterday was kind of tough because on Friday I had like an amazing writing day, and then Saturday was decent, and for whatever reason yesterday I think I wrote like 8 pages total the entire day, and I was off yesterday. Like I could have finished this episode yesterday if I had really like pushed myself, but it just, the words were not coming. It wasn't happening. So it's a little frustrating to have days like that. I'm glad that I had like a great day to start though, and not like this in the opposite order, because then I would really feel like, oh God, this is going to be a slog. So I know that there are good days to come, but there are also going to be some struggles. But the point is that I continued writing anyway, and here we are. So I think I only wrote this episode over the course of, it's Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. I wrote this episode in 4 days, which is actually like an amazing speed for writing an episode. Normally they take like a week and a half to write. So if every episode were to only take 4 days to write, I could be done pretty quickly with this season. I don't think that will happen, but it would be nice. It's a nice thought. So yeah, I guess I'm going to cut it off here, and we'll do another video for another episode. I think that's how we'll have to do this. But I think I'm on track. I think I'm in a good spot. And I think that finishing episode 1 before July, the original start date, like the intended start date of writing season 6, means that I am slightly ahead of schedule officially, and it puts me on track to hopefully finish this by Black Friday. That's like, I have to be done by Black Friday just because my work schedule gets insane after Black Friday. So to me, that's like internal deadline is like, you have to get all 15 episodes done by that point. And that's, we had July, August, September, October, and then like most of November. So we'll say like 4.5 months to write 14 more episodes. Does the math work on that? If I write like 3 episodes a month, I'm kind of on track, because that would put me at 12, and then I would just need to do 2 in November, and then be 13, 14. Yeah, okay. If I could do 3 episodes a month, I'm on track, that feels really doable. It's like, that feels doable. So maybe I am okay, because I do have vacations coming up. There's going to be 2 separate ones. So I will lose about 3 weeks in there too. So it's not really 4.5 months that I actually have. We'll see what happens with it. But yeah, I'm going to call it here, and I'll see you when I am working on episode 2 of season 6.